Hey everyone, it's Ryan1940 here. Today we're taking a look at Stormworks, and this is my Whiskey class submarine, and we're going to test out a new class of ships that I'm releasing, and then we're going to see how it fares against this guy. Basically, I guess we'll take this out a little ways. We don't want to go too far. Alright, we deployed the bow planes. We're filling the ballast tanks right now. We're still in the diesel. Eventually we'll switch off to battery, but we want to get, I guess, a little bit deeper into deeper waters. Let's look under the keel here. Which one is it? Submarine depth. There we go. Bottom depth is 53 feet. So not a lot. But yeah, we'll what we're gonna do today is we're gonna sail this out a little ways till it gets a little deeper, and then we'll sit down maybe around, I don't know, 50 feet or so. We'll put it on battery power, and we'll let it go, and then we'll take our new Thistle-Class ASW Corvette out from that port over there, and we'll try to find this thing on Sonar, and then we will try to kill it with our depth charges and do a full end-to-end test of the ship, and we'll talk about the ship too because I'm going to release it, so this will kind of be the video that teaches you how to use it. Alright, we got the sub set up out there. We are going to come on board the Thistle-Class here. First thing you got to do, you can't get around it, is you're going to have to go below decks, go down here. This is the engineering space. Go ahead and turn on everything here. So for the furnace, for the startup, you're going to want to put it to 200 degrees Celsius. There's a control system here, so this helps the boiler come up to speed faster, or come up to temperature faster. It needs to go to 100 degrees Celsius, obviously, to produce steam. So we set that to 200 to maximize the heating. Once that goes up to 100 here on the boiler, then we're producing steam, and then it's safe for continuous use to just set this target to 135, and that should be enough to continue to produce steam. If you make it higher, you really get nothing out of it. It wastes fuel, and you're not getting more steam or anything like that. It's just burning some fuel. In terms of fuel, we do have a lot of fuel. We got like 18,000 liters here on board, so we'll let that go for a while, and then we'll kind of just look around. So nothing too fancy. We got the space heaters, below deck lighting. This is the magazine for the aft 5-inch gun, which is above us here. There are some electrical isolation breakers around the ship. There's just a forward and aft bus. This is the armory where you can get your machine guns and stuff like that, grenades, C4. A bunch of welding torches, obviously. We got medical here with 4 medical beds. This is just the berthing, so we got 6 sleeping quarters here. There we go. So the turbine's coming online. You can hear it definitely kick on. So it's, yep, over 100. We set this to 135. Okay. Cool. So that's gonna go. This is the fire main tank. So there's fire stations. You can just refill this if you if you use all the water. But right now it's maxed out, so we can have that off. Alright, turbine is screaming, ready to go. This ship is run on we are listing pretty heavily here. It's basically this windstorm is just kicking us into the pier, or the quay wall here. Alright, let's get underway. So I think in this situation we're going to want to reverse out just a tiny smidge, and then go forward just a smidge, pull this off. Alright, so somewhere over there to the north is where our submarine target's at, so we're going to try and find the Whiskey class and sink it with depth charges. Now this ship is, I've tried to design it so that you can use it in multiplayer, so it's pretty light on the details and all the crazy stuff I normally put in some of my ships. That's just by design so that you can hopefully play this with your friends and not melt some CPUs. Alright, so we want to go to the north here. Oh, this is pitching and rolling. You're going to have to fight it with some counter steering here with the rudder. This wind is not helping. In terms of speed, this thing maxes out, I think, around 13 knots or something like that. It's not fast. And it bobs pretty terribly, kind of playing on how the Flower classes were, which sounded like they were absolutely awful to ride in. even in calm seas they were reported to roll around quite a bit. So this is the pilot house. So you got your controls here, navigation lights, overhead lights, heating, propeller pitch, which is important because once the turbine's spinning, the prop is spinning, but you got to apply the pitch to get it to go for speed, and that's how we control the speed. So that would be one station. We want to go and try to find this thing on sonar, so probably have one player up here operating the thing, and then go below to take a look in combat here, which is really sparse. We'll have a radar system, which is pretty neat. We've got our radio system here for talking. We've got our plotter here. We can turn this on and we can use this to plot our position. There we go, there we are. And then we got the sonar here. This is by Nova. Turn the power on and start pinging away. So I think this is pinging off the bow. So yeah, you probably want somebody here to just operate this and other CIC things, and then somebody driving the ship, obviously, and then somebody running topside to control the weapons and the depth charges and the guns, that kind of stuff. It looks like we got some radar contact over there. Let's take a look at that. That's reading out 1,000 yards, or 1,000 meters, 164. Oh, that's behind us, so that's not going to be for us. Oh, yeah, you got this Sonar or ASW by Nova. Definitely go to their description. I'll link that in the workshop description for my ship. Read up on it, how to use it. To be pretty honest, I'm not quite the expert on it yet. I've just been driving the ship around to make sure it works for testing. So let's go ahead and cheat. We know that the submarine is out that way. Oh, good. We are hitting in the right spot. Let's set a waypoint to that just so we know. I guess that's not good. There we go. So we're 900 meters. We're going to try and drive at it as fast as possible, and then if you want to use the depth charges, you gotta go all the way back here. There's a couple ways to do it. If you want to use the over the side launchers, they are controlled right here. So you just press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're gonna launch each of them. So these are the 3 on the starboard side, these are the 3 on the port side. I've done it this way so you can quickly see or quickly fire off a bunch as you need to. Depth under keel is important because we want to make sure that we set the depths to not touch the bottom, and that's just a way you can stay alert to that. Obviously, you see here we're going to have to run up and adjust our course a little bit more. Okay, we're 600 meters away now. This is where it would be nice with 2 players, just one guy just keep driving at the contact, the other person in combat calling it out. Alright, so if you want to set the depth of these things, you can just go look over here, and you got to use minus values. So we'll say minus 15, oops, say minus 15 meters, minus 20 meters, and then minus 30 meters. Alright, let's do the on the other side as well. Same thing, minus 15. Minus 20. And then minus 30. Alright, cool. Where are we at? We're a little off. Let's go and re-aim this again. Okay, here we go. I think we'll just hold the course until we get right up on them, and then we'll run back there and fire the over the sides. The stern deck launchers are the same way. You plug in the depth that you want using the negative value, and then you just press the release button on the track, and it's going to slide off the track into the water, and it'll detonate at the correct depth. Alright, here we go. We're right over them. Let's run back there right now. If I can jump. I think we've missed it. Yep, I think we've missed it. Let's see. So there they go over the side. So cool. Ah, we're in the water. Crap. Well, I wonder if we can, let's just get down there and take a look. There's a ship. Where's that submarine at? Oh, you know what? They're probably... Oh, we should probably get up to the surface there. That's not very smart, is it? Oh, they are now over here. Alright, let's hop on board. Oh, I cannot get on board. This is a pain in the butt. Cool. Alright, so we're going to have to change course once again. But yeah, you see those Y launcher things, they're so neat. This is going to be incredibly dangerous because I think by default those stern depth charges are set to 10 meters. And I'll tell you right now, those have a much larger warhead than the over the side launchers. Let's see if we can predict this path. I think by the time we get there, maybe... they use a medium warhead versus a small warhead buried in the over the side launcher, so it's going to be pretty hefty. And it could damage us, so we want to make sure we're going as fast as possible. So we're going 13 knots there. Alright, actually I want to come up along the stern of this guy just to maximize the potential that we hit him. So you see that those top red buttons on the depth charges, that is to release the brake on the track, so it'll allow it to slide off, and then obviously the keypad below is where you're going to put your depth settings. Okay. So here we go. We'll cut over this way. Okay, I think more or less we're aligned with them. Oh. Now let's slow it down just a little bit. Alright, let's just launch them. One. So I got this gate here because the water will mess you up. Oh, did we hit something down there? I think the submarine is down. Yeah, there it is, right there. That is sweet. Let's take a look. How are they doing? No, it doesn't look like any damage. We've gone too far. We're gonna have to circle back. Oh crap! This is dangerous. Some unexploded ordnance. Yeah, you want to time your drops so that you probably get an explosion, because if you drop multiples, what's going to happen is the first one that detonates is going to push the other one upwards, so it's not going to reach the target depth that it needs, and then it's going to then... Alright, they're cruising pretty slow. Alright, we'll circle around and line up again. Yeah, this is where multiplayer would help a lot to get the coordination. You need to see where the contact's at with the sonar and then drive the boat and then tell somebody to drop. Alright, so the sub's probably this somewhere over, right over there. Yeah, let's get ahead of them. Yeah, this is tricky. There she is. I can see her really faintly on the line there. Looks like we've got a little bit of flooding damage. Yeah, I was going to say, with these step charges, it's a little dangerous because we are detonating a larger charge. So ideally you want to set these to like 20 meters or something, but right now for testing we just don't have the time, right? Let's go ahead and launch one of these guys. Let's see how that looked. Oh, wow. Ooh. Barely missed it, I think. Jeez. Oh, that is pretty cool. Alright, and then now we'll launch another one. So the sub's probably right, yep, right down there. How was that? It doesn't look like it's getting hit, or maybe it's not getting damaged by it. It almost looks like it got blown off the side by it. That is pretty neat looking. Alright, let's send one more out that way. Oh, I see the sub down there. You know, these might be too shallow for this guy. That might be it. Yeah, we're way too far off now. Alright, so we'll probably want to set this to like minus 20. We'll do the same for this guy, minus 20. And then we'll come around one more time. Yeah, so you see that stern fencing there is keeping us in the water, basically on the boat and out of the water. All right, let's get back at it. I'm excited. That was really close. Okay, so let's go. Oops. Yeah, we were dropping and blowing these things up at like 10 meters. We'll see how bad the flooding is for us, but hopefully we can kill this thing before we're overcome with flooding. There's a bilge pump on the below deck section. There isn't one in the engine room. Probably add that in the future. Alright, I think I see the submarine very faintly down there. Well, yeah, he's down that ways. We'll circle around, maximize the chances we've got. So once I made the whiskey submarine, that submarine down there, Soup decided to make an ASW plane to go after my submarine, and then I added some changes to the submarine, so it's got like a radar detector and a deck mini machine gun on there, and a snorkel so it could stay submerged. Then after doing all that, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to make a ship of my own to go after this submarine, so I think that'll be cool. I didn't want it to fire like any guided torpedoes or anything because I thought that'd be kind of lame, but So this guy, let's run back here. Let's fire off a depth charge. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's take a look, see how that looks. Ooh, that is pretty close. That is pretty close. Wow. Oh man, I think we just need to drop one more and then that'll probably be a direct hit. So if we just fire off one there. Right over her, yeah. Ooh, that was pretty close to this guy. I don't know why it's not showing any damage though. What is happening? Let's fire off one more. Yeah, she's falling behind now. That looked like a clean miss. Completely missed out. Yeah. What's going on? Did she get any damage? Just a little bit to the sail. Anything underneath? Nope. Cool. Well, we're going to continue on. I think that's the ticket right there, is that depth change that we did for the depth charges. Okay, let's see how we do here. Alright, where's that waypoint? Pretty close. Let's fire off one. Let's take a look. Where's she at? Oh, not yet. That one's a little too close here, so let's fire off one more. Oh, I think that one was probably close to the top of this guy. Yes, it was. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Alright, did we get any damage though? That's the big one. Well, I think it detonated underneath her. So maybe if anything we need to... Oh, she's sinking, right? Yeah, she's flooding pretty heavily. Oh, she's going down. I think we did it. That is pretty sweet. There she goes to the bottom. Oh, man. I think that's a success. Yeah, well, obviously this is much easier if you're coordinated with your friends, and whenever Soup makes their patrol plane, that'll be really awesome as well. But this is the Thistle-Class ASW Corvette, designed to kill my Whiskey-class submarine, and we took a few tries, a few passes, but we eventually got it. I think the key is trying to figure out that depth setting, right? Despite it being a medium warhead, you still got to get close, and you got to be careful not to get it too close to the ship, because you can see we sustained some underhull damage here that would probably cause a little bit of flooding in the engine compartment, but I think it's okay for now. Actually, I think there's a couple layers of blocks, so we might be okay. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the Thistle-Class. Download it. Try it out with your friend. Try it out against the Whiskey-class. Maybe get some other friends to drive that thing around. Now that submarine, I'll warn you, it's kind of... I think if they can get the torpedo off, then this ship is done. The torpedo, it's one shot, but it's pretty accurate. So if somebody accurately, or actually they don't really need to be accurate, if they can just chuck it in your general direction, you might get sunk. So be careful, but there's only one shot, so if you can avoid that and close the distance and stay on top of them, then you can just harass them with these depth charges. I definitely need to look up Nova's write-up on using that ASW sonar because I don't quite know it yet. And yeah, I think sitting there would be pretty cool, directing the pilot house of where to steer, and then basically commanding when we should drop the string of depth charges. Now there's going to be a little shadow zone basically when you lose the contact and when it's time to fire, but that's the reason why I have those depth repeaters in the back there. It's so that if you are watching that depth and say the ASDIC loses the sonar contact and the ship's going over the contact and you got nothing, if you watch that depth reading, you might see the depth reading go over the submarine. So if you see a sudden spike in the water going really shallow, that's probably the submarine. So you'll know, okay, this guy's basically seconds away from where I need to fire the depth charge. So you can probably just start firing them off and then hopefully get the submarine contact that way. Anyways, this is the Thistle-Class. Go ahead and download it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Get to them as soon as possible. See you on the next one. Bye.